Hey, this is Michael Rosenbaum.
Hey guys, Tom Welling. Look, we've both played heroes.
And we both played villains. But in the real life, there are no reshoots, no stuntmen, or sequels.
We all make mistakes. We're all human.
Making one bad decision can not only land you in jail, but could also put yourself and other people around you in serious risk.
Be smart, make a plan, catch a ride, stay put.
Don't let a high moment turn into a lifetime of regret. This holiday season, be your own hero. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI.
Paid for by NHTSA.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Hiring isn't just about finding someone willing to take the job. You need the right person with the right background who can move your business forward. If you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed Sponsored Jobs. With Indeed Sponsored Jobs, your post stands out to quality candidates who actually fit the role. According to Indeed data, 90% are more likely to be hired and trusted by 1.6 million companies. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. Now with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help your job get the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/Podcats13. Just go to Indeed.com/Podcats13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Podcats13. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Do it the right way with Indeed.
Trojan family, what is up? Welcome to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud. Thank you, not just for making this a part of your day, but for all of those that left very kind and warm-hearted comments. For those of you that don't know, my daughter came into the world about 3 weeks early. So on, Thursday evening, I'm getting my first daughter ready for bed. Wife comes crashing in. We got to go. Baby's coming. So we find someone to come over, watch my my other daughter. We head to the hospital. We end up having our beautiful daughter, Madeline Rose, at 2:30 in the morning, Friday morning. So it's been a whirlwind. So, obviously I did not end up making it to practice on Friday as my planned. We just got home from the hospital like an hour ago. So it's been a whirlwind. It's been amazing. Baby's healthy. Mom is healthy. We're thrilled. I want to thank all of you that reached out. I got messages from tons of people, comments. I love the Trojan family, and we now have another member of the Trojan family, of the LAFB family. So just an awesome 48 hours. So, but I just want to get on here quickly because some things did happen, and we're going to keep this thing rolling. Baby's getting fed in the other room, so I got a little bit of time to talk with all you beautiful people. So let's make it happen. USC announced 5 more re-signings yesterday. That is Friday, plus a little practice recap. So I'm going to talk about that right now, and then I'll launch a video tomorrow. There are 5 more re-signings happening today. As of this recording, 2 more have been announced. The other 3 have not. I thought about just waiting and then jumping on and kind of talking about all 10. And I'm like, let's just get these 5 from yesterday, and I'll hit tomorrow with the 5 that we're still waiting, or the 3 that we're still waiting on, and just kind of the impact and whatnot. So anyway, but first and foremost, thank you all. And we're what a Christmas present for us here in the Dyrud family. So we're thrilled. So appreciate you all. But let's talk first. So Lincoln Riley obviously was going to be asked about D'Anton Lynn. Still, as of today, no changes. D'Anton Lynn is the defensive coordinator for your USC Trojans. Penn State still does not have a defensive coordinator, and Pete Kwiatkowski is still unemployed after being, deciding to part ways with Texas. So that is the status quo as of now. Obviously, Lincoln Riley was going to get asked about that, and I really liked his answer. I was not there, like I said, in person. Obviously, I was at the hospital, but obviously listened to it afterwards. And, I thought it was, I think there's some coaches that will just give you coaches speak, and some coaches I think that will kind of give it to you straight. Lincoln Riley kind of goes back and forth between the two. Sometimes he gets very kind of PC answers. Sometimes he'll really be honest and give you an in-depth, kind of honest, emotional answer. I thought this was one of those instances. Basically said, when you've built a staff, and you got to be confident. People can say it's not or disagree, but if you don't think your staff is great, then you shouldn't be in the profession. So, he said, when you have a staff as good as ours, teams are going to come calling. Like, we knew that was going to be the case when we built this staff. And Dan Lynn's done a fantastic job for us. We would like him to be here. Obviously, we want continuity, and I'm paraphrasing. We want that continuity. We love Dan. The kids love him. We think this defense is going to go to the next level. But if it does play out where he is no longer here, we will go and make a high-level hire and not miss a beat. So the two kind of big takeaways were, one, really just confidence in what they've built that, and I've said this before, as great as all these coaches are, like, I don't think one leaving is going to just tear the whole thing down, because they've really built stopgaps at all different ways. And two, him saying, like, if Dan Lynn does go, we will make a high level hire. So I don't like reading too much in that. This is in a scrum live kind of, it's not like obviously he probably prepped, knew this question was coming, but it's in the moment. I don't want to read too much into it, but just taking those for face value, that leads me to believe that if Lynn were to go, they would hire someone from the outside to come in and take over the DC, at least play calling role. Now, could they still hire from within? Certainly. But it seems like they would more lean, based on that comment, to go outside the realm, whether that's a Pete Kwiatkowski or whether that's, someone from another team that they would go and get. We will see. And like I said, as of now, I'm actually feeling a lot more confident that Dan Lynn will still be the defensive coordinator for USC heading into the season. If this isn't done yet, I don't see any. If it's not done yet, I don't see why all of a sudden it would change here in the next week or so. Especially with it being Penn State, the team, like they're not playing in a bowl game. So they want to make their hire sooner rather than later before the portal opens. So if nothing has happened by January 2nd, then I would say this is the coaching staff heading into the season, which again, I think is good. I think the continuity is good. I think you give Dan Lynn more of these talent skill players, we're going to see this defense continue to improve. It felt this year like it was a regression. Statistically, it was an improvement. So every year this defense has improved. I just think it didn't quite live up to the expectations that we all thought. I've talked a ton of reasons why I think why that's the case. And now with this influx of talent, I think we'll see it improve even more, because the scheme I think is fine. Whether that works in the Big Ten, that's another conversation. As I said in the last video, you can check out Pete Kwiatkowski's, I keep messing his name up. Pete Kwiatkowski's scheme is virtually identical. So you may think he's a better DC, that is fine, but schematically, it's going to have a lot of the same similarities. So that's more of a question of, do you just want something, a different scheme altogether for the Big Ten, a more aggressive scheme, something, with the latter. But Jesse Minter, Michigan, won the national championship with this scheme, essentially. There's been success with this scheme all over college football and the NFL. So anyway, those are his comments on that. The last thing I thought was interesting, he talked about the transfer portal and basically said, paraphrasing, we're not going to rely on it. We are going to, get key pieces, but it will not be a big class. So really, not doing one of these myself, but like what I've been saying, it's going to be 10 to 15 players. I don't expect any more than that through the portal. 10 to 15 players is that might even be pushing it, maybe even less, but they're going to go, based on conversations I've had and just based on my own opinion, they will be going ham for those 10 to 15 players. Like, they will be quality 10 to 15. And that's no disrespect to who they've added in the past, but they're not going to miss out on those like Walter Nolans of the world. Like, if there's a Walter Nolan caliber player and they feel they need it at that position, USC is going to go all out to make that happen. Hey, what's going on, LAFB family? Before we get to the show, got to tell you about my friends over at Sleeper. The number one sports app right now, and not just for season-long fantasy. They have daily game updates. They have a live chat. that you can chat with other users. Plus, my favorite part is the daily fantasy feature, which is similar to a pick'em. You just choose 2 or more players across any sport, choose more or less in whatever sport that may be. So if it's football, more or less touchdowns. For Jaden Mayava, if it's Mekhi Lemon, more or less receptions. If you're looking at the Dodgers, more or less home runs for Shohei Ohtani. Really easy, and you can win real money. Right now, when you go and make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code. You see it right there on the screen, USC LAFB. That's going to give you a match deposit bonus up to $100. You put in $100 to play with, you're going to get $100 free on top of that. You can put in 10, you get 10 free. Also, right now, our friends are offering a $20 free entry for any new signups. If you go sign up today, you'll get both those offers. You get $20 right off the bat free to play with. Plus, use that promo code USCLAFB at sign up and you'll get that match bonus as well. Go to the App Store, Google Play, download the Sleeper app today, and tell them that the USC LAFB sent you. Now, let's get on to the show. All right, the 5 signings from yesterday. King Miller, no surprise, we knew it was coming. I thought they would do something with his brother, Kalen Miller, some package thing, or maybe in the future they'll release something. I thought that'd be fun because, going from walk-ons to now signing NIL endorsement, NIL licensing deals with the team, I think is pretty awesome. But King Miller, we knew he was going to be a fixture. We knew once Harry Dalton and Brian Jackson entered the portal that, it was going to be Wayman Jordan coming back, King Miller, and then all the youth after that. So no surprise there. It will be interesting to see the running back split going the next year. Like, is it Wayman 1A, King 1B, or is it like Wayman RB1, King RB2? Because there's a difference there. If you're 1A, 1B, you're kind of going split carries. If you're RB1, RB2, you're going like 12 to 15 carries versus 6 to 7. So it'll be interesting to see what the distribution is, if King's used in more like passing situations, but we got all offseason to get into that. Speaking of passing situations, true freshman Riley Wormley re-signs. Again, we knew this was happening basically once the other 2 backs entered the portal. Wormley is someone that brings a different skill set than what Brian Jackson or Harry Dalton had. He's really similar in build and style to like Eli Sanders. So when you think of how they built this running back room this year with Wayman Jordan and Eli Sanders, you had kind of Wayman as your true three down back, could kind of do everything. But then Eli Sanders was like that change of pace burner speed guy. Well, now you have Wayman Jordan again, obviously. King Miller, just like, he was too good. Like, even if he's not like great at one thing, he was so good at everything. But Riley Wormley is like that Eli Sanders change of pace, come in on third down. He can catch the ball out of the backfield and really give you a different dimension to that running back room. So I love that they brought him back. For those that are curious, like why him over Dalton, what I just said, the difference of skill set. And then B, like we just didn't really see him, right? He got injured his senior year of high school and essentially was rehabbing the entire year until the final few games of the season. We saw him catch that wheel route pass in the UCLA game. So was utilized in that situation. So I think he just got, as he got healthier, and then the coaching staff started to see, okay, yeah, we see what this kid could do. He was an underrated 3-star at Texas, but we know he has a good skill set that can bring a different dimension to the room. So you got your 3 backs there, plus obviously Deshaun Rideau and Sean Alston. I would be personally shocked if they bring in a running back in the portal. If they do, it's a depth piece. If they feel they need one more numbers wise, but I think 5 plus, there's always walk-ons would be enough in that room. So I'd be very surprised if they add essentially waste any portal roster spots for a running back. I think they're set there. Marquise Gallegos, safety, love this re-signing, underrated player, special teams, plays with his hair on fire. Obviously, defensive back is going to be tough for him to really get on the field just with the numbers game. I mean, it's so deep. I know the defensive back room didn't play as high as expected this year, but with the youth resurgence and everyone coming back and the 6 DBs coming in the 26 class, plus the return of Celis Williams, Chasen Johnson. I know those are corners, not safeties, but defensive backs. Prophet Brown coming back. You got I'm going to talk about next, Kennedy Urlacher coming back, Christian Pierce. It's a loaded defensive backfield. So I think we'll see him in some situations. He plays really similar. If you guys remember Talanoa Hufanga, great USC safety. He's on the Broncos now, was drafted by San Francisco, but just plays like with his hair on fire downfield all the time. Look up if you haven't seen it. Just last week, Broncos played the Packers, and there was a running back sweep to Josh Jacobs, or it might have been a quick screen pass, but anyway, it was to the outside, and he had a blocker, like basically holding his blocker, the running back did, and Talanoa Hufanga just comes from the boundary, full speed, and just bodies both, basically just dumpsters into the blocker, taking the running back out as well. Like, that's just his style of play. And I feel like Marquise Gallegos plays very similar. Just absolute downhill runner, nose of the football, hair on fire. So he's been great on special teams, great on kickoff team. And, could he get on the field at defensive back? I'd love to see more of him. It's a deep room, so we'll see. But that's a good culture guy that they're able to bring back yet again as an original recruit.
All right, people, serious question time. Did you know that driving high is considered driving under the influence? That's right. Driving under the influence of marijuana is against the law in every state. That means even in states where marijuana is legal. That means driving high could get you a DUI. And if you think law enforcement officers can't tell when you're driving high, well, you're wrong. If you're high, they can tell. Your friends can tell. Your coworkers can tell. Even your parents can tell. Everyone can tell. So what makes you think that law enforcement officers don't know when you're driving high? You'd be wrong. They can tell too. Driving under the influence of marijuana can slow your response time and change how you perceive time and speed. So even if you think you're fine to drive when you're high, you're not. Because the bottom line is, if you feel different, you drive different, and driving high is driving under the influence. So remember, drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
This is Michael Rosenbaum. Hey, folks, let me tell you that drinking and driving is a decision that will change your whole world. Things will never be the same once you get a DUI, because legal fees and time in court are just the beginning. Getting into a crash is another way your world could be irreversibly changed after drinking and driving. Your vehicle may not be the only thing that gets damaged in that crash. You could face a life-altering injury or even death. But you're not the only one who could face those consequences. Your decision to drink and drive could permanently change someone else's world, whether you injure them or leave their loved ones grieving. The next time you're out drinking, call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or a designated sober driver. Always plan for a safe ride home. The only decision that will change your world for the better is the decision to call for a sober ride. It's never worth it to drive drunk. Don't risk it. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Kenny Urlacher coming back, no real surprise, transferred last year. One of Chad Bowden's transfers. Remember, he came in that spring portal class, him and Zacharias Williams. So, obviously Chad liked what he saw from him from his time at Notre Dame. Similar to Marquise Gallegos, great tackler, knows the football, runs with his hair on fire. He will have a real shot to compete for that starting safety spot next to Christian Spears, depending what they do in the portal. I think that is a position, whether it's safety or corner. I do think they'll add a top-tier starting quality defensive back, but Urlacher will certainly be in the mix to compete, along with all the young guys that are going to be back as well that we've talked about, D. Riddick and so on and so forth. So, and finally, yesterday, tight end Walter Matthews. This is such an interesting player because when he was recruited in the 24 class, elite, with the size, he has uncoachable size when you talk about just a freak size of a tight end. And out of Georgia, 4-star, like one of the premier prospects in that class. And we just haven't seen it on the field. There were some rumors that they were maybe transitioning a little bit to offensive line because of that size, just so big. Could he be quick enough at the college level with that size? That was kind of shot down a little bit. I don't think there was an official answer, but I think as of based on what we know, he's still kind of in that tight end room. Now with Lake McCree going to the draft and Walker Lyons leaving, he has a real shot to really start getting some reps. Obviously we know Mark Bowman's coming up. We know Josiah Jefferson also coming up from the JUCO ranks. But it's still a wide open room. Like, I know Mark Bowman's getting a lot of NIL money, and as he should be, like, the dude is a generational type talent. I know Josiah Jefferson, there's a lot of excitement from the JUCO ranks. But as of now, there's no one on the roster that has like viable college tight end reps. Joey Olsen hasn't been re-signed yet, but he's another guy in that same class. And then you have like Carson Tabarachi. So Walter Matthews could absolutely really squeeze his way into that type of role where he can do a lot of good things. So I'm excited about the prospect, excited about the opportunity, and just that size. Really would love to see him at very minimum in those goal line situations. If he can work his way into those real goal line situations, like as a jump ball guy on out routes, or even just like, hey, go run 3 yards, dig, and just stop. And we're going to throw it over the linebacker's head and just have you there. So obviously they see something in him. The fact that he hasn't played much and they still re-signed him shows that clearly he is still in the vision board of what they could do with him at that position. So excited for that prospect as well. So those are all the 5 signings as of today, Saturday. Like I said, 5 more are coming today. As of this recording, 2 have been announced. I'll just say it. Jamal Jarrett and Treston Castro. Both great. Love to see him back. Castro was in this 25 class, local cornerback. So I'll talk about them 2, plus the other 3 that get officially announced tomorrow on Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. But that will do it for today. Appreciate you guys as always. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Let's keep this thing rolling. What an offseason, right? College football playoff started today, or last night officially. Right? Bama with the crazy comeback overcomes Oklahoma. You get the snooze fest. Texas A&M Miami game. Miami pulls that off 10-3. You get then the 2 Ole Miss and Oregon playing G6 teams. But hey, we got football on. It's great. It's beautiful. Wish it was SC, but hey, we'll talk about the bowl game here coming up soon. So I'll be back tomorrow. Appreciate you guys. Let's keep this thing rolling. As always, bye on.
Hiring isn't just about finding someone willing to take the job. You need the right person with the right background who can move your business forward. If you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed Sponsored Jobs. With Indeed Sponsored Jobs, your post stands out to quality candidates who actually fit the role. According to Indeed data, 90% are more likely to be hired and trusted by 1.6 million companies. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Less stress, less time, more results. Now with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help your job get the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/Podcats13. Just go to Indeed.com/Podcats13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/Podcats13. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Do it the right way with Indeed.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening. Happy holidays! Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday.